Ryan Flowers with Biz.Geek here, and today what we're going to talk about is getting ready to build your QCX Mini Plus, or the original QCX if you have one sitting around unbuilt. Maybe all this buzz about the QCX Mini has you wanting to pull it out of off the shelf and put it on the bench and get going. So let's talk about what it's going to take to make that happen, and some tips to help you get it built easily and not have any real big problems along the way. So we're looking here at qrplabs.com. Of course, this is where you started to purchase your kit, and this is where you're going to go for the directions. Now we're going to focus on the QCX Mini, but they're all the same. The circuit's the same on the QCX Mini Plus and the original. And the firmware is the same too. The only real difference is that the backlight can be controlled in firmware on the QCX Mini. That's it. Otherwise, they're identical. And that's just a minor hardware change. So all the software is the same on all of them. So the first thing is know where your resources are. Know where the manual is, where the operating manual is, and know where the troubleshooting information is. And that's all on qrplabs.com. So if you click on QCX Mini, we have here the frequently asked questions, firmware revision history, troubleshooting video, and a bunch of other stuff. In fact, there's also this beginner's CW QSO. So if you're like me and are learning CW right now, which I totally am, I have not had a QSO yet, I'm working toward it, then this is going to be an excellent resource for you too. So let's scroll down here, and first things first is the documentation, the assembly manual and the operating manual. So first off, the assembly manual. Let's go to the top of this manual. I just opened the PDF in another browser or another tab in Chrome here. And if you go through this, it contains a huge amount of information. In fact, I think this is 120 pages, 121 pages, huge. I don't recommend printing it because you're going to use a ton of ink, especially if you print in color. It's going to cost you a fair bit to print this. And there's really no point, especially when you can just use your tablet. If you have good eyes, you could use your phone, but I would recommend having something big. That's why I've got like a 10-inch tablet that works beautifully for that. And I just download the PDF, open it up, and then I can do things like pinch and zoom, so I can zoom in on something and really take a look at, especially, which is great for troubleshooting, especially. But I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So let's go down a few pages. I'm just going to page down with my clicky keyboard. So there are some important reminders. Removing a component and reinstalling it later is often very difficult. So you're going to triple check every component and component value and location before soldering it in. So double check everything. Read through these instructions in full. Read through the instructions in full before you start building. You don't have to read all 120 pages, although if you have time, why not? You're going to learn something. I guarantee it. It's an excellent manual, and QRP Labs is known for having incredible documentation. In fact, you can learn completely how to build a QCX from scratch if you wanted to, and how it works based on what's in here. Of course, you want to buy one, but they're excellent kits, and they're very inexpensive. It probably costs you more to buy all the parts individually than to buy the kit, frankly. But all the information's there. So let's go down. There's some special instructions about SMD care, staying away from the SMD parts, and so make sure you read this, especially if this is your first QCX Mini, or your first time dealing with even not that you have to install any, but dealing with working around SMD components. There's some great tips in there, and some stuff that you really have to know to build it. So there's some great documentation in here. One of the nice things about this is that if you're on your tablet and you're looking at this, and you're trying to figure out, maybe you're trying to trace a fault, which is what I was working on last week. You're trying to trace connectivity between 2 points, and you're not sure where something connects next and what path it takes. You can do this. Of course, I did this on my keyboard, but you can just zoom enhance on your tablet, and it's incredible. You can't do that on paper. So there's a solid reason not to print it, besides the expense and the use of paper. Just use a tablet or a laptop, or if you have good eyes, use your phone. But I would probably say not use a phone unless it's a really big one. Anyway, there's great stuff in here, including tips on how to wind T1. I've got a video on how to wind T1. You can watch that, but it's just stuff that's here. So anyway, it talks about inventorying parts and winding T1. There it is. People get really intimidated by this, and I think one commenter said that T1 is evil. It looks intimidating, but it's really just one toroid with 4 windings on it. So, and some people are intimidated by toroids. That's fine. I have fun with them. I think it's fun. They're frustrating sometimes. They're tedious, but they're fun. So you're going to go through all these and read through all of it. So that's the main thing. Spend some time with the manual. Get to know where everything's at. And there's some excellent information toward the end of the manual about powering it up, getting it working, and all the different options. But there's also, when you get to page 107, there's DC voltage readings. You're going to need that for troubleshooting. So this is what you're going to want. And there's just, again, I've said it over and over again by now, there's huge amounts of information here. So feel free to spend some time with it and get to know it. Because even if you don't need to do any troubleshooting and your kit works perfectly the first time, this information is going to help you understand your product better. And if there ever is a problem with it, you're going to have a clue of what's going on. The next thing is the operations manual. Oh, and there's one other thing I wanted to share here. Toward the end, there it is. Operation reference cheat sheet. If you're going to print one page out of this, print this. And keep it with your QCX Mini. Maybe put it on the wall or fold it up or whatever. But especially if you're doing portable operations, take this with you. Or just take the PDF with you. Or screenshot it and take that with you. Whatever. Anyway, so there's the operations manual next. And here it is. So make sure this matches your firmware revision. Now, if there's trouble or you need help with it, first things first is check everything here. Check the frequently asked questions. Check everything, because all the time I see questions, I selected the wrong band. How do I fix that? It's a very common question that's actually covered in the documentation. So when people ask that, it just proves they didn't read the manual, which is okay. I'm not giving those people a bad time. I've been that person more than once. But instead, I'm saying the information is here if you look for it. So look for it. Now, if you need help, you can email QRP Labs and they'll help you. But it's going to be delayed. They're especially busy right now. The best thing to do is to become part of the vibrant support community surrounding QRP Labs products. And the best place to do that is to go to the QRP Labs groups.io page. It's groups.io/g/QRP Labs/topics. I'll put the link below. And there's an amazing forum here, and it's a great place to be. You can get emails so that every time somebody emails the group, you get it. Me, I don't want that. I get enough email as it is. Just go to subscription, and I change mine to special notices only. Now, coming in here, you might have a question. The first thing you want to do is see if somebody else has asked that question already and just find the answer like that. So there's a search button right here, and don't do a search that says, how do I do this with my QCX? Because this isn't Google. In fact, Google is quite bad at that too. But do a search for something like QCX. There you go. QCX filter width. Search. And there's some information about that. So there's great information here, and there's one. There is widening QCX CW filter bandwidth as possible. So there's going to be a lot of questions in here. There's 9,004 topics as of right now. So that's a lot of them. It goes back several years. So use this resource, and when you need help, this is where you can go. Now, if you're on Facebook, you can also use the QRP Labs Builders group. However, all the technical discussion, the deep stuff happens here. The reason for that is that Facebook sucks for doing technical support. I love Facebook, sort of. I think at this point it's kind of a necessary evil, but I use it a lot. I'm there all the time, and I do like it. I like it for just having active discussions, but for actually archiving information, making it searchable, easy to find, Facebook is just terrible. So all the technical stuff really happens here. And then there's another resource, which is me, QCX. I got QCX on the brain here. Miss.geek.com. I've been posting stuff. I've got the QCX mini tip series, of which this video is a part. There's a playlist, which I'll also link below, and you can watch those tips. I've also got the building the QCX mini. What tools do you need? So you can go here and see the tools I use to build everything. You don't really need a whole lot. In fact, you can spend less than the cost of the kit on tooling and be ready to go. Tips for running T1. There's all sorts of stuff in here. And so this is a website that is for you, and it's my love letter to the QC or to the QRP community, and whatever else just happens to cross my mind that day. It's mostly ham radio stuff, but there's some other stuff that comes through now and then. So you can go up here and subscribe, sign up, or you can search, and you can also support Miss.Geek, that's me, by clicking on this link before you shop on Amazon, and that I'll get a commission for that as an Amazon affiliate, and that'll help me out so I can keep doing more videos and have more things to talk about. So anyway, and make sure you subscribe if you've gotten this far in the video. Click subscribe, click like, and the notification bell. You'll get more videos. I'm definitely doing more videos. In fact, I'm going to be working on one as soon as I'm done with this one. So thanks for watching. In 73, we'll see you next time.